In this episode, we have to mention Professor Wolfgang Reitzel, the head of development of BMW, who, in my opinion, is the godfather of E32. Why? Because he became head of development of BMW right at the end of E32 development time, probably 1.5 years before the original launch of the car. And he came to the BMW CEO and said, we need to stop the project and we need to make the car 4 centimeters wider and we need to put V12 in it in order to beat Mercedes. And this became the theme of E32 itself. BMW CEO has greenlighted the project, and the idea of beating Mercedes at their own game for the first time became the underlying motivation within BMW. So BMW was already 1 billion of Deutschmarks in development and hasn't originally planned to put V12 in it. That's what not many people know, and it has changed right at the last minute. And the way it changed is also fascinating to me. So Mr. Reitzel, apparently he came to Mr. Fischer, head of or development engineer for engines, and this was his project to make a brand new V12 engine, because BMW had no V12 engine, and they made that in a record time because the whole delay of E32 development was just 10 months from the original launch day. So the small change of 4 centimeters actually plays a big role of why I absolutely love the design of E32. And in the book of 7 years of development of 7 Series by BMW, you can actually see the first prototypes. And I have to say, I wouldn't like E32 that was so narrow as they originally planned. So it has really helped the design a lot. And they changed the design around that, dimensions change a lot, also the headlights. So you can see that in the book, how the design evolved and how it became what it is now. And this car was aimed at Mercedes W126. Historically, the smallest, the lightest S-Class maybe of all times. If you look at the previous S-Class, it was gigantic compared to E23. It looked like these two cars were not even from the same segment. So Mr. Reitzel has actually sensed the opportunity correctly to beat Mercedes at their own game in the luxury segment. And this move has really surprised Mercedes, who was already developing the newest class, the W140, to which this car is not responding to, but which is responding to this car. And what is interesting to me is that Mr. Reitzel has said that because of this dimension change of E32 and because of the V12, also the size of W140 has increased a lot. We all know that Mercedes has overshoot the development by 2.5 years, but we didn't know that, at least I didn't know that also the size and dimensions of the new S-Class has changed because of E32. So if you are a Mercedes fan, if you are especially the W140 fan, you have to pay credit to this team of BMW, Mr. Reitzel and E32, because the W140 wouldn't be the same without E32. And if you are BMW fan and from some reason or another you like to glorify some other eras of BMW that followed after E32, you have to pay respect to the fact that E32 has allowed that. And E32 was at the beginning of these glorification times for BMW, because at that time, late 80s, early 90s, I don't think there has ever been a time when BMW was dominating Mercedes technologically and design-wise as well, and commercially as well, as much as back then. And how do we know that E32 has beaten commercially the W126? Well, you can just look at the period magazines. You can just read the reviews. You can just read what other people had to say about those two cars. And you can just drive both cars and see the difference for yourself. But you can also compare the spec of the cars. You can compare the equipment, the technology used. And for me, just one tiny thing, look at how you change temperature in the AC unit in E32 and compare it with Mercedes. Mercedes was asleep at the time and they didn't expect this move. And what followed after E32 was that the whole segment has changed. It grew in size, it grew in weight, it grew in complicated technology being packed into the cars, and it became massive. Those cars after E32 became massive. Even the E38 is way much heavier than E32 with the same engine, and same goes for the Mercedes, which is the heaviest S-Class of all time, or maybe until recently. So this has followed, and this is all thanks to the E32. And the reason why I'm sitting in this car particular, and the reason why I chose this car to speak about this is quite emotional for me, because this is my first E32, and when I was buying it from Germany, from a town called Heidelberg, the gentleman who was selling me the car, the son of the second owner, has said to me that his father told him that when he bought the car from the dealer in Heidelberg, the dealer told him that this car has actually served as a board member car in 1992. This is a 1992 car. So I contacted BMW Archive and asked them if they can confirm that this was in fact a board member's car. And obviously they responded that due to data protection laws, they cannot name any individuals, but they confirmed that BMW has owned this car for the first 2 years, and then in 94 it was sold through that dealer to this gentleman. From 1992 to 1994, this car has served as a company car for BMW AG, confirmed by them. We don't know who drove the car, but ask yourself a question. Between 1992 and 1994, who at BMW factory or company could have had as a company car BMW 750 IL with this phone inside, Siemens C1, the most advanced and most expensive phone ever fitted to a car? We can just guess. We don't know, but in 92, BMW had 5 board members, and if this was a board member's car, then there is a 40% chance that it was driven by either E32 godfather, Mr. Reitzler, or BMW CEO who greenlighted E32 with a V12 engine in it. So it's just coincidence that this is my first E32, and this is probably the reason why I will never sell this car, and the reason why I have emotional connection to this car, because at the time, through this phone, probably people were discussing important things. You know, that at the time it was already in production, so they were probably discussing later models. But someone who made these decisions about E32 that influenced the car industry as we know it was most likely using this car as a company car, which is amazing. This is the car that brought the brand to the same level as Mercedes. If you are looking at BMW as a brand, as a equal to Mercedes as a brand, nowadays, it's thanks to E32. It's thanks to this model, because it was for the first time that BMW has beaten, and maybe the last time, I don't know, has beaten Mercedes at their own game with luxury limousine. Whether you are a Mercedes fan, whether you are BMW fan, whether you are Pagani fan, whether you are McLaren fan, you have to take credit to the origin of the story, and that is E32 and Mr. Wolfgang Reitzel.